Hi, I'm Joey Pinz. People ask me, how did I lose 130 pounds? The quick answer is always discipline. I started my business, wasn't paying attention to my health, was eating too much, drinking too much sweets. My daughter was born. Next thing I know, I'm pre-diabetic, I have hypertension. I knew something had to change. Discipline. I, like many of you, have faced many challenges in your career, in your family, in your life, in your faith. How did you attack them? How did you approach them? How did you solve them, hopefully? It all had to have some degree of discipline. I'm also asked, how did you found and start a tech business that lasted over 25 years? Discipline. I was committed to it, enjoyed technology, didn't enjoy some aspects of it, but knew it was necessary. Discipline. Our podcast mission, how do we use discipline to better ourselves and society? Join me, please, as I talk to interesting people and discuss how they use discipline in their family, in their passion, in their careers, and how it helped them. Our podcast vision, growth through learning from others. Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. It'll be light and serious. Join us, please. Thank you for consideration. Chris Claudio, thank you so much for your time.
Joe, great to see you.
Nice to see
My
you.
pleasure.
Here. We're here in Frisco, right outside of Dallas, Texas, at the, of all places, New England guys. We're at the Cowboy Campus World Headquarters.
On the indoor field at the indoor workout facility for the Cowboys.
Isn't this place? Somebody says 5,000 seats. This place.
It's pretty beautiful.
It's
pretty nice.
It's real. Like 8 high schools play here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Indoor football.
Yeah, crazy.
It's really, really cool. And so we're here at the Lion Guard RoarCon 2024. Exciting. It's bigger than they projected. What excites you about the MSP community?
Well, I guess there's a number of things. First off, I love the industry. I've realized how much I love the industry since I left it a little while ago. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about that. But I just love the direction that it's going from a business perspective. Like the growth rate on the MSP industry, the cyber industry is just continuing to explode. So as a business guy, that excites me, right? Because I love this industry. I certainly love business. I certainly love growth. But I can't get away from, I just adore the emerging technologies. I think Lion Guard is a great technology. But some of the new technologies that are coming out, particularly with the advent of AI, it's going to transform how we've done what we've done, in a lot of cases the same way for many years. And so it's just exciting to be a part of it.
It is exciting.
And to spend time with you, Joe.
Oh, come on now. I see at football we're going to try some field goals.
Yeah, make sure that's not on camera.
I didn't even think about that. You bought my MSP. That's how we got introduced back in 2019.
2019, yeah.
Yeah, it's been 5 years. Wow, that's crazy. So,
and we're still friends, which is great.
Which is great, of course. I love the transaction. It was wonderful. Where are your beginnings from? Was it always in tech?
Yeah, well, no. I mean, I was a political science major, and then my sophomore year of college, I got my hands on a computer. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. But I realized that, once I got my hands on a computer, Windows 95, to date myself a little bit here, and I was dialing up with my 2600 baud modem to the University of Maryland Computer Science Department, I realized this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I became very technical, became an engineer, and worked for Computer Sciences Corporation as a systems admin on the Windows side and then on the networking side. And then left and started Logically with my co-founder, Mike Williams, still a great friend and business partner today, in 1999, and then the rest is kind of history. So I'm a very dated engineer now, one of the early MCSEs in Maine, back in the late 90s. But now I'm more focused on sort of the, I guess, the beauty of the business side of the tech, even though I can still talk a little bit of tech. These young guys, and even some of the older guys, they can talk circles around me now, but I still love it.
I remember I started the MSP as a tech as well in '93, and I remember I brought some engineers on, and we were down an engineer at one point. So I said, "Oh, great guys, I'll come and help," and they're like, "That's okay, Bob." They're trying to be as nice as they were.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. I've stepped away. I'd probably get in the way. And it's humbling, but in order to run the business, you can't do that all the time.
That's right. I'll never forget, and I still use this joke today. I did the exact same thing, and one of the guys said, "Are you going to bring your Duran Duran CD with you?"
It could be worse.
It could be worse, right? It could be worse, and it's all respectful, which is great.
And now we see the emergence of private equity in managed service provider. It's really kind of validated, you know, the MSP industry. Jay McBain says over 500 billion in revenue they're coming in, and MSPs are using terms like tool consolidation, like bottom line multipliers. When you and I MSPs, we never talked about this. And so it's, I think in a good way, it's shifting the MSPs to a more business centric and
I think so.
Understanding the health more. And what else should MSPs be doing to further, you know, increase their value?
Yeah, I think the maturity side of, you know, we were made up of a bunch of techs, right? We were focused on the technology and delivering good customer service and you know, adding new customers. And I think what's happened, and a lot, you know, you got to give SLI credit for this because they sort of started that maturity process. It transformed our business back in 2014, right? I didn't know what EBITDA was back then, and now I talk about it all the time. And it's a fundamental valuation metric for MSPs, and it's how, whether it's a strategic buyer or it's a private equity fund or maybe even an IPO, it is the valuation multiplier that every MSP should understand and realize that that's how whatever your EBITDA is, there's other variables in there for sure, that's how you're going to produce the most value for your business. Or the other thing too, there are a lot of these guys or girls that might just want to have a good business and they want to make money, right? So EBITDA also means more cash in your pocket. So it's an important metric to understand. More importantly, on the backside, the operational excellence, the gross margin understanding, the things that really drive that EBITDA number, I think is, you know, this industry has moved forward a lot.
It really has. You mentioned SLI, Service Leadership Index, and of course we know Peter Kajawa.
Of course, yeah.
And I remember one of the first things that I learned about that, Chris, was percent on equipment. We were just doing a few percent, and then in my HTG group back then, we got SLI's like average 20, 25, and we increased it, and we didn't get any bounce back.
It's amazing.
At all. I mean, that really increased our revenue just knowing that.
Yeah. And there are a number of areas you can do that with MSPs and just do it smart. And just, you know, 1 point here or 2 point here. I mean, there's a big delta between a couple points and sort of best in class on the product margin side. But there are a lot of sort of levers that you can pull to be a profitable MSP, right? And there are things to get to that pathway, which is a lot of the work that I'm doing now and helping MSPs do that. But also from the private equity side, like, first off, there's still a lot of deals that are happening, and a lot of these maturing MSPs are growing and becoming more valuable. So the appetite, I would say the salacious appetite for private equity and even other capital investments, family offices, it's growing, and it's only going to get stronger, which is good for our industry. It's good for these business owners, and if you're doing a good job with your business and your EBITDA is high, you're going to create generational wealth for your family. I mean, it's remarkable the value creation that's happening in this industry, and I think it's only going to grow. You've got, on the generalist MSP side, depending on which study you read, you at least have low double-digit growth, CAGR. And then on the cyber side, you've got, you know, high teens double-digit growth. So the runway for this business for the next 5 to 10 years is really, really long.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting. I'm blessed to be part of this industry at this time.
Such a great community. I love it so much. I remember the first time we had bought a couple of companies in the late 90s, and then we grew at about, I think we were about 40, 45 employees. And I remember we had a picnic after this acquisition, and I remember I was meeting people's grandkids. And I left there thinking, this little business that I started in my garage is now affecting grandchildren. And I started like sweating. Like, I've really got to sharpen up here, you know, because I think some of the MSPs are so tech-led and they start small and they get big. They don't realize how impactful it is, how it's helping the clients, how it's helping the families, and you can really turn it into something, like you said, something generational and control a big legacy.
100%, and the people side of this industry is probably what I love the most, both on the customer side and on the MSP side. It's why you and I are such good friends. It's that, you know, there are great people in this community. But I had that same emotion when I crossed the 100 employee threshold when I was CEO at Logically, and I remember thinking, these are 100 people that work for me, and at least half of them have kids. Like, the impact that you have on these people's families is remarkable.
What can MSPs do now better to increase their value?
I would say, you know, it's a bit of a blueprint on how to be operationally excellent. Like, how to be a great MSP. There are a series of things that you can do to get there. And there are a number of different ways to get there and different people that could help you. But I would say actively focus on that because it's going to provide you more time to run your MSP as opposed to working in it. You're going to obviously generate higher EBITDA, higher profitability. Your service delivery metrics will be better, right? Your utilization, everything that relates to the people that are actually delivering the service. If you're doing it right, all of this stuff improves. And then lastly is, the growth component. There are two fundamental ways that you grow your MSP: by adding new customers, obviously, and then acquiring other MSPs, the right size MSP or a diversification of service offerings. But acquiring is a great way to grow your business. If you want to grow your MSP and you're thinking about doing it through acquisitions, I would say that is an absolute great strategy. But get help because it's complicated. The funding, the equity, the debt behind funding those things are complicated, and there are good partners out there and there are bad partners out there. But it's a really great growth strategy.
Yeah, organic growth and growth through acquisition.
Yeah.
Very, very strong
Yeah.
vehicles. I was talking to Vin Tan here, one of the founders of Lion Guard.
Yeah, yeah.
And I asked him about bringing Michelle in.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the Google guys, Sergey and Brin, get enough credit for saying at one point, look, we can't do this anymore. We have to bring somebody in to be CEO.
Yeah.
I think often MSPs, the owners, get in the way of their growth.
Totally agreed. I totally agree.
And whether they bring somebody else to do it, if you like technology, you like doing that, why not do that all the time and have somebody else head everything else?
100%.
And it takes some humility, because it's your baby, but you still be part of the board. But I think great lessons could be learned. Lion Guard did it, Google did it. Many of these companies do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's succession planning. You have to do it at some point. You can either do it at a painful point because you have to step aside because there's a family event or, God forbid, something happens to you. But I totally agree with you. And that is why I think in large part you see so much consolidation because we're all getting older, right? There is a tipping point at which you don't want to be working 60 hours a week or 70 hours a week. And so either you're going to promote someone and have a succession plan and have someone take over that you can then coach and mentor and ultimately have them run the business, or you acquire or you get acquired or you merge with another company. But there are pathways to do it, but a lot of people don't think about it until it's too late.
Right.
Or until it's hard, I guess, maybe not too late.
Mr. Arlen Sorensen say, you're going to leave your business either vertically or horizontally.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's good.
Yeah, and that's also, about bringing somebody else in. We have this adjusted EBITDA because oftentimes the owners aren't paying what they're really worth.
For sure, yeah.
And so, there's all these complications. So one message I want to convey that perhaps MSPs should just look at that model as well.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the magic math that I help people with and we help people with is because it's, first off, EBITDA in itself and understanding the valuations around that is kind of mystery to most people. Most people, remember, 50% of MSPs don't make money, so they don't even know what EBITDA is. And then when you're going through a potential sale or you're going through a potential acquisition process, these adjustments that you're talking about can be, fuzzy math, and usually it's not in your favor. So it's good to understand it.
Yeah, generally the statistics are 25% make a lot of money, 50 don't make any, and 25 don't, they actually lose money.
That's right, that's right, yeah. The best in class is it's the median of the top 25 percentile. So, those are the ones that are generating the most EBITDA, making the most money, and they tend to be the most mature. And we know a lot of them, I know a lot of them. So.
Yes. And being part of a peer group.
Oh, the peer groups are great.
Remember, Tiger Woods has a coach.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody needs a coach. Right? Bring people in, be part of a peer group.
Right.
I know that completely revolutionized my business. I'm no longer on an island. Now I'm in a room with people that have similar plights.
Yeah. No, likewise. And there's so much knowledge to gain, and people tend to be protective about their knowledge. And I found that the more I share, the more people share with me. So I actually love coming to these events and being part of the peer groups and talking to people and learning a lot.
So, Chris, your message to MSPs right now on this day here in the middle of July 2024, Dallas, Texas is
it's great to be an MSP owner. Depending on whether you're running your business, building your business, or planning to exit your business, it's a great time to own an MSP because the sky is a bit of the limit.
Sure is. Chris Claudio, thanks so much for your time.
Joe, great to see you, as always. My pleasure.
You're good at this.
I love this stuff, man.
You're freaking great.
I love this stuff.
You're freaking great at this.
I love this stuff.
Do you?
No, I don't. I wanted to eat my chips, Joe. Are you kidding me? I did this for you.
Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with one or two of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you find lots of resources and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.